Noguchi was born and raised in Manoa Valley and spent his early years dancing with Halau o Kekui in Hilo. He is a graduate Culinary Institute of the Pacific and the Culinary Institute of America, New York. Mark's dedication to empowering his community through food and education has landed him a spot as a leader in Hawaii's sustainable food movement. He is currently the chef and co-founder of Pili Hawaii, a community-focused food group. Chef cooks for an Aina-based perspective. It's important for us to know where our food comes from. It defines who we are. Chef says the awareness of this intimate connection keeps him grounded. Chef will be participating with 22 other celebrity chefs in the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival events for Hawaii's Sustainable Future, promoting farm-to-table, sustainable sourcing and cooking practices. Please welcome to our Macy's Kitchen, Chef Gooch.
We've been talking already, so you guys know who I am, and I know who most of you guys are. But before we get rolling, it's very, very important that we mahalo people that support us. So the woman with the cyclops over there, the furful, is Shimane. For those of you that may not know what, come on, clap, please. This is like a funeral or something over here, you guys. How's it? Clap, clap, clap. For those of you that don't know why you're here and just saw the line and smelled, pigskin and decided to sit down, we are gearing up for the second annual Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. As we're really, really fortunate that Food and Wine decided that Hawaii was a pretty cool place. Last year they had their first one, and it was the co-chairs is Roy Yamaguchi and Alan Wong, and thanks to them, they got us back again a second time. Actually, when Chef Roy gave me the call, I didn't believe him and I actually hung up on him the first time. And he called back and he's like, no, this is, Chef Roy Yamaguchi. I was like, oh. I was going to ask you if you'd like to participate, but I think I'm changing my mind now. So, besides that, I have to say hi to my mother, my mom is, and my Auntie Jackie. So I just wanted to share, I know a lot of times as chefs, when we demo, we bang out food and then whoosh and then gone. But for me, for this festival and for today, it means a lot. My mother raised me, and I remember her dragging my butt to Liberty House every so often for food demos. And so for me to be able to stand here today and share with you is very, very, it's very humbling. So mahalo for coming, spending time, and thanks for coming, Mom. And here we go. So today I was gonna do just luau stew. Anyone don't know what luau stew is? Oh, everyone knows what luau stew is. Good. It's like it's like we didn't have time for luau. So I was gonna make luau stew, and but it's there's a farmer's market here. In case anyone didn't know. And there's no excuses anymore to say I don't have time to go to KCC or I can't go to Kailua. Bulai. You have plenty of time because there's literally one in every town. There's so Saturday and Tuesday nights at KCC. There's a Saturday day at Moana. There's a Wednesday at NBC Arena. Thursday out in Kailua. No excuses. Not to mention Sunday going on in North Shore. So what I wanted to share was, before we did that, we just share some stuff. As a little, not bonus or whatever, I don't know. I just got ADD and I wanted to make another dish. So we have a salad along with the luau stew today that is made entirely of stuff that I just happened to swipe from. So first off is from this is from Otsuji Farms. This is Tokyo Negi. Now if you get the Tokyo Negi in Japan, it's a lot longer, but because of different growing climates, it's a little bit shorter. Usually Tokyo Negi in restaurants like that, they'll just use the white part. But here in Hawaii, we're a little frugal and punky, so we can use the whole thing. We'll come back to it, but real fast what I like to do is just take off the outside layers after you give it a quick rinse. You can save this stuff. You can make, if you make dashi, make saimin, you can juice up the SNS powder. So save it for later. Somebody remind me. I have luau cooking in there. Somebody remind me. Set a 5-minute timer, please. I'm gonna forget. Mind you now, there are no secrets in cooking. Anybody has any questions, by all means, shout it out. If I can answer it, I will. If I cannot, we'll consult Google.
I think we need to mention the article that you all have. Honolulu Weekly's Reader's Selection. Chef Mark is the new up-and-coming chef.
Somebody messed up the count. It was like Florida. Somebody messed up the count. What was really funny was I was talking to like a mentor of mine, and he was calling me old. In the cooking in our cooking careers, you've been doing it for more than 10 years. You're pretty much like a dinosaur already. And then like the next day that came out, I was like, I'm still young. Yeah. Yeah. Called him up. You see this up and coming, ba. Food and Wine. If any of you haven't, if any of you don't know about it, Food and Wine yet, or if you're thinking about going, you can purchase the tickets today right at the front without the online fee. But tickets are going fast for a lot of the events. What I enjoyed as like an intern about attending the events was because you really have no responsibility. You just kind of show up and you help and this and that. And you never really quite understood just how stressful the chefs were until you start doing events yourself, and then you realize, oh, okay, so on top of like, you know, running my own restaurant and getting it for service and I gotta do this thing. But Food and Wine allows us being chefs, allows us to kind of gather as peers. You know, you work your butt off, but you also see most of us in a festive mood. I get to work with my mentors next week. 4 of them that I met when I was like 2 weeks into cooking, and you know, and I have the pleasure of working with them now. So you get to see chefs in a different light. So if those of you that are still interested in, you know, and you want to come around, you can go see a Shimane in the back and pick up some tickets. But it's good. It's a really awesome boost for our community. It allows us to support our farmers on a larger scale for one entire week and just go nuts. Because we live in Hawaii and we got killer produce, and there's no excuse why we don't use it. So what it is right now, I'm gonna cut these tomatoes, the onion. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and vinegar to the negi right there. Just gonna let it hang out. And what the salt is gonna do is gonna start to draw out some of the natural moistures in the tomato and the negi to create its own little dressing. We'll let that hang out, and then we'll come back to that at the end. So luau stew is something that I learned when I was living in Hilo for a time. It's kind of a way to just utilize luau leaf, and you throw it in a pot, away you go work, and you come back and it's lau in a pot. Couldn't be better. Chili pepper water, bowl of rice, thing out. You guys ever gone baby luau, or you got to go eat a plate lunch and you order like a lau or a squid luau, and your throat is itchy. Itchy throat, yeah. And what that is that it has taro. Specifically, I get to sound smart right now. Specifically, the variety of Colocasia esculenta. Has these inside throughout the whole plant has these sodium silicate, these crystals. These crystals will only break down with moisture and heat, which is why usually, you know, you wrap it up in lau and you just cook the bejesus out of it for hours, right? Imu, come back the next day. One thing that I wanted to know for myself as I progressed was like I wanted to know like what temperature, like what exactly, at what point does it start to break down? Which is we're gonna visit the more contemporary version of luau stew. And you know, after a couple of trial and error and many itchy throats, found out exactly where it's at. But so to prep luau leaf, it's very easy. It'll grow like this. The plant kind of goes up. And poor thing, she's been hanging out in this dry air, but you know, usually it's a lot happier. Okay? You just take it and boom. The top off like this. You can use your hand. What's really one thing that I learned, the difference about purchasing luau leaf on Oahu and purchasing it on an outer island. Because if you get it from Big Island like that, when you buy luau leaf by the pound, you actually buy just the leaf, and it's kind of hard to pick. But you know, like, you know, when I go picking with my friends and their families, grows like this, and that's all we pick is that. But you can eat this too. You can eat the whole thing from the ruta to the tula. Just clean, 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 clean. Like I said, you guys are funny. My mother shows up and everybody gets quiet.
Mark, did you want 5 minutes for the luau?
Ah! Hey. Catch!
Oh, thank you.
Some goodies from Moana. Thank God my younger brother's not here, because Mitchell just loves to heckle. Oh my God, he loves to heckle. He's the kind of guy that would, like, in the middle of talking to them, go, excuse me, Mark, chef. What's the atomic density of luau leaf? Real? As if I'm not sweating enough. I don't know. Light. What's the atomic weight? Yummy when you eat it. So, because it's gonna break down, just run your knife through it one time. Put it off to the side. Good to go. Now, all the best guys I ever worked for, in one way or another, told me less is more. When we cook, there's like I said earlier, there's no secrets. And as professional chefs, we're not necessarily better cooks than you guys. We just have learned. We just got a bigger bag of tricks because we do it every day, 365 days a year. But the one trick, I think, and it's not even a trick, the one mantra is less is more. Is that keep it simple. You know, that's how our mothers cooked. That's our grandparents cooked. You know, the best farmers, they keep it simple. They don't put a whole lot of fertilizers, and they don't, you know, do a whole bunch of stuff. They keep it simple. They let the plant do its thing. And when the plant does its thing, or the animal does its thing, and the usual end result is really, really yummy. So keep it simple. Where was I going with that? Because this dish has 4 ingredients. It's got pork, onion, luau, water. I mean salt and pepper. Pork butt. Pork butt, pork shoulder. You guys see it at Costco, and most people wonder what the heck it is. It's pork butt and pork shoulder. Those are the butt. Butt refers to when meat producers go to sell their product. It's the names. Is what we call like the commodity names. What you see on the package. Now, having said that, pork shoulder and pork butt, you treat them the same way. Slow and low. Take it easy. Let it do its thing. Stainless steel bowl. Now, I was gonna say that, you know, when you go to bone out, because you got the blade, yeah, got the shoulder blade in here. When you go to bone out, sup, Esther? Wow. Now I'm really nervous. When you go to bone it out, like in a restaurant, what I probably do is I probably get like most of us as cooks, we have a boning knife, we bone it out, but the average person doesn't have a boning knife. You wanna know what a boning knife looks like? Hang on. Where's my boning knife? Okay. Boning knife. Wicked. Nice, huh? Like saying good for fight. I'm just kidding. But most of us, who has a boning knife in their house that they actually use? Oh, you don't count. You're a cook. You don't count either. You're a foodie. See, the rest of us don't have one. So how about we bone it out with a paring knife? Because most of us have paring knives. Let's try. If I can. Yeah, oh, you be quiet. You're a chef too, for crying out loud. Food is a truth. Okay, so there's a concept that we call seam butchery. And what seam butchery is the fact that you can actually take those big muscles, you can take a whole bone-in, whatever. You can take a whole bone-in ribeye, a bone-in rack of lamb. You actually use your fingers, like this, to butcher it out. And your knife merely facilitates what's going on. So push it out like this. So essentially, theoretically, and I have never cooked, I've never seen butchered an entire like steer yet. and cooked it. But the thought process is that there is no such thing as a tough cut of meat because you're boning these babies out along their natural seams. In there, around. Now I got what the heck? I got this guy holding it up over here, pull it backwards, letting the knife do its work. You don't have to force it. Let the knife go where it wants to go. Push it out a little bit more.
Mark,
Yes.
can you demo further back in the cutting board so people can see on the mirror?
Like you want me up here,
Yeah.
and I'm short, so you want me to?
Oh, okay, never mind.
You happy? Can you guys see? Oh, Garen Nobriga, one of the finest street divers in Honolulu. What's up? Can you guys see? Everybody see? Jody, can you see? Claudia, you can see? You cannot see? See. Okay. So this baby here, I'm gonna save it for lunch. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. I'm gonna make soup with it later. So once we have our beautiful shoulder bone down, I can put the preg knife away. Now, from here, I'm just gonna dice it up. So I'm gonna cut it out along. As you can see, I'm still using my fingers, pulling it out. And just go straight down already. Boom, right there. A couple pieces, dice it up. You know, pork got a really bad rap. You know, when you guys were younger, especially us at small kid time, you had to cook pork all the way through. But we're really, really lucky. We got local pork producers now. You don't have to. I mean, I've had it sashimi. Not saying everyone's gotta have it sashimi, but you don't have to cook the heck out of pork anymore. You know, you can take it to medium. For those of you that use the thermometer, you pull it at like 140. You let it carry over, and it'll be fine. That's with like pork roasts. Oh, bone in, what's the matter with me today? Bone in pork chops. Wow! Unreal. Like the best thing ever. Yes, okay, thank you. Took me like 10 minutes to get that thing started today. Too many buttons.
Is that what you used to make in Kuloki?
Yeah, use the whole thing. But yeah, if you're gonna make a little pig, yes. The butt, and then so remember how we had the whole muscle? Just like think of like an ex-girlfriend that you hate, and like stick your knife in like that, and then just rub it with salt, and you wrap it in banana leaf, and then
Put it in
let her rip. I heard you can do it kulo pig in a crock pot too.
Yeah, crock-pot, yeah.
I know why you was laughing. Yeah. That you did it before.
Put liquid smoke in.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on a tangent. Why fake it? I realize that a lot of recipes say liquid smoke and this and that, but I mean, that's just me. Why fake it? If it's not going in any mood, then I don't. Not ripping on your cooking, uncle, but you just asked, so I said. But salt. You know what they make is at our fields is they actually have smoked salt. They actually smoke salt, and you can actually find it at a lot of places nowadays. You can probably find it at the farmers market on Saturdays. But instead of like liquid smoke, just like with the rim McCoy, just rub it down with the smoked salt, and then.
And throw it in the slow
Oh
cooker.
yeah.
A little water inside.
Yeah.
Put water inside the slow cooker.
Water? Wait, where'd it go? Water, and you put this bone. I'm gonna wrap this bone up for you. You can take it home today. My mother, my refrigerator is not that big, so I store all kinds of junks in my mom's fridge because it's she's only up the road. But she like hold out Ziploc bags, going, "Can I throw this away?" And you just save everything. Pork fat, bones, scraps of meat, save it all. Because you never know when you want to throw it in. Flavor, Bobby. Okay, so once I have my diced pork, I got pakai, regular sea salt. When I do whole mussels like that, I like to use whole sea salt. Simple for the fact that, you know, I guess I'm used to it. I know how much by feel I'm throwing in. Okay, once you got it salted, let's pretend. I like to salt my meat and let it hang out for about 6 hours. What that does is it lets kind of like the meat absorb the salt. There's like a transfer of, you know, moisture. It goes in, it goes out. And then also, what I like to do is that I like to temper my meat. It's kind of cold right now because it's in the fridge. But whenever I cook meats like that, I let it hang out for a couple, like an hour or two. Let it come to an ambient temperature, and that way when you cook it, it'll temp out a little bit more correctly. But let's pretend. Pretend that happened, yeah. 6 hours later plus 2 because the thing was hanging out. We've got. We're gonna get it ripping hot. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but you know your oil is ready when it starts to kind of shimmer, kind of dance across, dances across the bottom of your pot. So to brown it, a lot of us are in a rush. And when you go to make stew like that, you take all your stuff, you dump in a pot, and you walk away, and you come back, and your meat is great. That's not how it's supposed to be done. What you want to do is you want to brown it in small batches. When you brown your meat, you want to do it in small batches. You want to have enough space. This is not going to work. You want to have enough space where the meat, you know, you got pukas between everything, huh? What that does is that lets moisture escape, that lets the browning action happen. It lets your meat get happy. That's it, got that going. Wanted to talk about blanching. Big pot of water. What we're gonna do is we actually got limu here. Where's my limu? My limu is. Ta-da! We're gonna make like a little limu salad to go on top. And if you think about like plate lunch, vinegar on top. Stew. We'll make a little salad with that. So I got that going on in here.
What's limu?
Limu, oh I'm sorry, limu is seaweed. My bad. So also know we grew up with, and we call it ogo. This variety here, one of the things that I try really hard to do is to source stuff out and cook with ingredients that come from the same area. Not that everything can happen, but in this case, pork. Pork is comes from Kahalu, which is in the same area of Poco. This beauty right here, this limu ogo, this is actually an invasive species. It's called gorilla ogo, or Gracilaria salicornia. And it grows at a really, really aggressive rate, so it actually covers out, just goes right over reefs, just blankets it. And what some practitioners feel is that, and as a chef too, is feel that if we can make this seaweed yummy to people, because most of us we're used to you know, the finer ogo, yeah, the black, the crunchy one. But if we can make this yummy and we can make it a viable product that people want to purchase, then hopefully that's one way that we can kind of be sustainable. That's one way that we can kind of help get rid of it, other than just digging up. It makes really, really good mulch. Oh, plants come big. But blanching, we're gonna blanch that in a second. So you walk away, let your meat get happy. Still browning. We'll let it go. Okay. Any questions so far? Oh, you guys are talkative. Okay. Mom, you see what happened? Everybody got quiet when you showed up. So what do we have in here? So we're doing two methods, yeah, right now. We're doing how we're gonna do it at home, and maybe how we would do it in a restaurant. So what we have in here, this baby, I know not all of you can see it, but sorry. What this is an immersion circulator. About 10 years ago, the chefs in Spain actually started to really bring it out. Sous vide cooking in a bag is nothing new. It's been around since the 70s. You know, they use it in the medical profession. The French did it, but now we've taken it into a mainstream light. Now even, you know, now they make immersion circulators for the average home cook. But what we did with the pork butt here is we rubbed it down, salt, pepper, onion, garlic, put it in this bag, and then we cooked it really, really slow for 36 hours. So this is like the equivalent of like, you know, putting it on your stove or your crock pot and walking away for a day times 6. And the benefit of immersion circulating and sous vide cooking is that if you understand the concept of cooking, you know, what we do is we cook it at just the temperature where, you know, all that magic happens, where the cooking happens. And so we don't shock our proteins, we don't shock our veg. The end product tends to be it tends to be moist, you know, it tends to retain a lot of its water. So this is a 36-hour pork butt.
What's the temperature?
Temperature is 63 Celsius. 36 hours. Fahrenheit 63. Who's got an iPhone? No, 60. No, like 142, I think. Yeah, about there, 142. Yeah. You thought you could stop me. Here you go. Okay, so we got some browning going on over here. Oh, I got one. Okay, if you're a cook, a chef, or like a hardcore food, you cannot answer this question. But people think that when we take proteins and we brown them, it's called caramelization. That's really not, because caramelization is the chemical reaction of sugars. So when you take protein, Ed, you better be quiet. You better be quiet. I'm going to throw this knife at you. So when you're caramelizing proteins, does anybody know what that reaction is called? It's named after a French scientist. Nobody? Do you know?
What was the question again?
What is the name of the scientific reaction of browning proteins? It's named after a French scientist, starts with an M. Do you know?
Forget. I know M.
I guess the sound's going with me. It's called Maillard. Ah, shucks. Thought you guys like hardcore food channel people. You guys, loser. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we got this nice and brown. Okay. And then what I would do at this point is I would actually take this meat out, and then I would put the rest of this batch in. But for the sake of time, we're gonna pretend I did all that already. So let's take this. So let's pretend all of our meat is brown. And at this point, you know, in recipes it says they say, what do they say? Like drain off all but a quarter cup of fat, or like 3 tablespoons. I mean, let's be real, guys. Who can look into a pot and know that that's 3 tablespoons of oil? I can't look in that pot and know that's 3 tablespoons of oil. But there's enough oil that just barely covers the bottom of the pot. That's where I would go with. So in other words, if your body pot is like swimming in this much oil, then you take some off. For instance, whatever you put to start your goodies going on, that's how much you leave. All right? So that looks good. Take some sliced onions. At this point, I'm going to take a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. Not only does it season my onions just a little bit, but it also helps to draw out the moisture. Helps to get that cooking, all that good stuff going on. So we got this guy right here. Drain out the meat. Drain out the juice. So all this liquid that just came out of the pork. So I didn't add anything else to it. Didn't do anything fancy. So what I should be left with is just good porky flavor. So in the whole like keeping it simple, you know, we're not making a whole lot of sauces. You didn't see me whip out butter or cream yet. We're just like, it's just like trying to extract as much flavor as possible from what you're cooking. Okay? That's getting nice and brown. So once we brown our onions lightly, we're going to take our lu olive that we just rough chop, put that in there, and then the meat that we browned goes on top. The reason why it goes on top is that just the weight of it will help it all push down. After that, regular old water.
Mark, so you don't use the stems at all when you make
Oh, I'm gonna use the stems for lau lau. But yeah, you could. You know what, Mrs. Gu? Where'd it go? This will be at your doorstep tomorrow. She lives right down the road. It's not like not. And we'll cook it on down. So there's just enough water to barely cover the bottom, because once again, going back to, you can always add, but you can't take away. So if I pour like a gallon of water in here and everything is done, and all I'm left with is green soup, then kind of pour whole. So I can always check on it, add a little bit more so nothing burns. But at this point, it's up to temperature. We add a little bit of salt. We're gonna cover it, bring it way, 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 way down low, and let it go. But if you fast forward 8 hours, ta-da! And that's what we back to the salad. So by now, it's kind of hard to see, but she's actually released a lot of water. There was a puddle of water at the bottom over here. Got some lovely goods from Mall Organic Farms. Hanging out. And you guys, it's Planet Green, so when we're eating, come up, help yourself to salad, no scared. You know, it's a lot easier to like call up a purveyor, make an order, get all my ingredients from wherever. But I think the easy way is like the lazy way. It takes effort. You need to go and you call and you make. You build relationships with people, and then that's the important part about cooking. Is the connection. I never met you before, but there's a connection. The hole is back there. There's a connection. You make the effort, and that's why. That's where the yumminess comes in. It's not doing anything. It's not a secret ingredient, or it's not doing a method any better than anyone else. It's that energy. And the holes are back there. Whole Farms. Whole, you guys gotta try. Oh, you get it? You got it, right? Her currant tomatoes. These things are amazing. They're like candy. Please feel free. Oh, what the heck? My dear, take one and pass it around. Let's start eating. Because good God, I'm getting tired of talking. We got our salty water. Boiling. Good to go.
Oh, that's good.
Right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the kind of stuff you just like put it on a plate, salt, olive oil, and you let it go. You don't touch it. You just let it be happy and it do its thing. Okay, got it going on. You guys see, so it's brown. And what we're going to do is that blanching limu kind of helps to neutralize some of the bitterness. Especially like really big, chunky guys like Gorilla. Oh, anybody? So Guy Fieri ate this before and after. And if you haven't seen the episode, you gotta see his face because it's pretty priceless.
Where can we get that?
Limu?
Yeah.
You can get it at Tamashiro's. Oh, Whole Foods. Whole Foods is a big supporter of Pai Pai Ohei'a, the fish pond that that I co-produce with. And they started purchasing limu 2 times a week. I believe it is harvested Tuesday, and it'll be in fresh at Whole Foods on Wednesday. So yeah, we kind of, what was it? It was like, what, like 20 seconds maybe? Oh, I'm sorry. So it changed color.
Yeah.
It's green now. When you, one of the things, you guys ever notice when you throw veggies and stuff in hot water, it turns greener? Because what happens is that you throw it in hot water, and then the cellular pores open up, and all the gas that's hiding the chlorophyll releases, and that's why it brightens up. And so what we do is you throw it in ice water to, one, it stops the cooking process, it also stops that transfer of gas. You thought it was just fun. Brains too. I was sitting on a couple of handfuls of shins of the whole Farms, their not cucumbers, carrots. and I didn't know what to do with them, and I was actually gonna go get cucumbers, but I figured why not. So we actually pickled, made a quick namasu with the limu and the fresh carrots. Because nothing goes better with raw stew than something vinegary. I swear, I think I'm Filipino. I'm not, I'm a second generation Japanese. Just saying. So we finished the traditional raw stew, and we're doing now is we're going on with the contemporary. Finish that up. So we're just about wrapping up. Any questions?
Yes, Mark, again, going back to the luau leaf. Now you said cook till the pork is done, but what about the leaf? The concern always is you
The
don't want
itchiness,
that-
yeah? So, and when I cook it in a regular pot, I usually let it go for about 3 hours. Mind you, there's different varieties. So when the Hawaiians came, they brought like 64 different varieties of kalo. Today, there's about 8 to 12 that are purchased, grown, and sold, in the main market. Now, the one that is used the most for luau leaf is the pake, the Chinese variety, yeah? Banlong it's called. From what I understand, the banlong variety, the leaf grows the quickest, and it's also I don't know if this is an actual word, the moistest. Has the most water. And so that's the one that you usually see at the market, is the banlong variety. So in my experience, banlong takes at least about 3 hours in a pot, 3 to 4 hours in a pot. And the best way is to just taste it. You can tell, like, it'll change color. I mean, if it still looks like really, really green and vibrant, or if you don't mix it and you pull it up in the center, it still looks like it's all, raw, probably don't eat it. But there's other varieties too, like one of my favorite varieties of luau leaf tea is called Lena Lena. And like Lena Lena grows like that big. The leaf is like that big. And one you can make like a 3-pound lao lao. But Lena Lena takes a while to break down. It takes about 6 hours to break down. Every variety is a little bit different. The really, really awesome thing is once you start to understand varieties of taro, you know what is best suited for you. It was grown commercially for koi, except does that make the best koi? Wait, you talk to you talk to the guys in Waiahole like that, and they'll talk to you for days about their favorite varieties. Okay. So what we got here is going back to trying to figure out how long to cook it. So this right here is luau leaf. It's kind of hard to see, but what I found out was that you could take it and then cook it at about 160 degrees for about 5.5 hours, and that was long enough to break all the itchy stuff down and still maintain the structure, still make it look not like a bowl of mush. So
the pork that you just fried over there? What if you don't have one of those things there? How could you make the pork?
Oh, throw it in an oven. 175. Yeah, just put it in like a roasting pan. Really, really slow. Like if you wanted to, what would be mean is just keep like the pork belly, skin on, and then what the Chinese do when they make a crispy style roast pork, they make pukas in the skin. So you just poke a whole bunch of holes. Poke a whole bunch of holes in it on the top of the skin, and then you rub it with salt, and then you let it sit overnight. And the next morning you throw it in the oven slowly, 225, so that it's super tender all the way through. And then to get like the crispy crust, you just crank that oven up, you blast that bad boy, and then the skin goes just like that. Okay. Pork belly.
So the leaves that you were just cooking, you just put a little water in, and cover with foil?
Which one? This one right
The
here?
one in
The one in that? The one in that? Yeah. Oh, actually. Oh, the one in the sheet pan that just went that way.
Yeah.
Actually, that was just a little bit of salt, some sautéed onions, and a little bit like a tablespoon of olive oil. All that moisture that you saw when it took the foil off, all that moisture, naturally came out when it cooked. This one here, some Moana. Fresh pickles. And then last but not least, pork love. Man, some Siamese noodles in a bowl. Oh. And if I were to charge $50 for a plate, which I would never do to you guys, you all would probably look like that. All right, on guys. Thanks for hanging out. Please hang out. We got food coming out. Hope to see some of you guys at Food and Wine next week. I hope that this has been as fun for you as it is for me. All for hanging out, guys. All of us can tell stories, relate to, grandma cooking this, grandma cooking that. So something as, especially Hawaiian food, which has a very strong spiritual connection to Hawaiians, try not to mess with it too much.